So, first and foremost, I really wanted to start off by saying congratulations because it has
Thank
just been
you.
announced that in 2023, MJ the Musical will be embarking on a national tour hitting
Yes.
17 major cities across the country.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. I wanted to ask you, or I wanted to start off by asking how it feels to be a Bronx native that was finally hitting the Broadway stage. But now, how does it feel to also know that you'll be gracing stages around the country?
Well, the tour is actually supposed to have an all new cast.
No
Um,
way.
yeah, I'm probably still going to be on the Broadway stage, hopefully. I'm not sure if I'll be on the actual tour, but to actually be doing Broadway coming from the Bronx, it is a dream come true. You know, as a little girl, I literally went to school right across the street from where I live. And I remember just watching TV, and my mom and my dad, they really loved going to Broadway shows. So they would come home with the playbills and I would read them. And I didn't know who the people were, but I just knew that I wanted my name to be in one of those playbills. Specifically when they went to see Dreamgirls, you know, I saw Cheryl Lee Ralph and Jennifer Holliday and these beautiful, oh my God, Lynette McGee. Am I saying her name right? Oh my God, I hope I'm not saying it wrong. Lynetta McGee. Yeah, I saw these beautiful brown women and I wanted to be just like them. So to actually be on the Broadway stage now at my age and after all that I've experienced, it's a dream come true. It's surreal. I am literally in awe every day.
That is an inspiration. And to get into all that you experienced, you know, you're a firm believer that music heals and music has been the driving force, the driving salvation in your story. Can you tell me more about your childhood and the trauma or abuse that music saved you from?
Well, I did grow up in a pretty tumultuous household, I will say. And I saw violence in my home before I ever saw it outside. For me, music was my escape, being able to go in my room and listen to music, to sing songs. And at that point, I didn't even really know that I could sing. I just knew that I could mimic what I heard on the radio. And it was my escape. It was a way for me to get away from everything that was happening around me and to just have time with myself and have time with God or who I knew God to be at the time.
So, you know, the pain and the trauma and the abuse that you saw, I guess, served as the fuel to your engine, your driving force for pushing you forward. And I guess you can say you built what is called a personal prison around you because of that, you know, trying to protect yourself from experiences that you saw. I'm sure there's also a factor of growing up and not wanting to attract more things from the outside world, being that you're already dealing with a bunch of stuff in your home. I can definitely relate to that.
Yeah.
How were you able to shed that personal prison that you created and come out on the other side to live a more free and limitless, fearless life?
Well, the thing about creating that personal prison, you keep a lot inside, but you also avoid things getting out. And I knew that there was something in me that needed to come out, that needed to be shared, that needed to be poured out. And in order for me to actually do that, I had to break free from the constraints that I put on myself and also the ones that I allowed others to put on me. I literally, at one point in my life, was wearing what other people had to say about me like a garment, and it was how I showed up in the world. And I got to the point where I was just like, no more. I'm going to shed this and I'm going to break free and be who it is that I'm supposed to be. I let those forces and that negativity breed fear inside of me. And a lot of my decisions were dictated by fear. And all the time knowing that I had something special. I had something special to offer and I wanted to offer it, but I was afraid for so many different reasons. And 2017, I call my leap year, because that was the year that I decided to go toward the things that scared me, as instead of running away from them. And I didn't care anymore about people's opinions. I didn't care anymore about even the limits that society will put on us. You know, I was 45 years old at the time. You know, I'm a brown-skinned Black woman with a gap in my teeth, big eyes, wide nose, full lips, you know, the things that we are told are not considered beautiful. And in that moment, in that season, I decided that it doesn't matter what anybody has to say about me. What matters is what God has said about me. He has told me that I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. And I know that I'm special in his eyes. I know that I'm beautiful in his eyes. And I became more open to seeing myself as God saw me. So once I got free of that fear, I just decided I wasn't going to live my life restrained anymore. And I literally celebrated my 45th birthday hosting a birthday concert that I called Ayana Unrestrained. And that is how I intended then and now to continue to live my life without the restraints, without the bondage and the chains that, again, that I allowed. You know, I am freer now than I've ever been in my entire life. And music was it played a very big part in that.
Mm-hmm. I love how, you were able to come to that realization, even at the age of 45. I think a lot of people, they grow up, and as they get older, they get so solidified in the things that they've been told and the way that they are and the things that they believe they can do or the things that they believe they can't do. And that ends up playing such a huge role on the legacy and the things that they're able to do within their life. And a lot of people
Yes.
don't even realize it. I also love your mantra that you have for your hairline, more growth, less shrinkage.
Yes.
And I love
you've been doing your research.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
I
Yes,
love
yes,
it.
I have to. And I love how it comes full circle. I really do.
Yes.
So you attended the LaGuardia High School of Music and Art and Performing Arts. You have a
Yes.
wide vocal range encompassing many genres. You've been a supporting vocalist for the likes of John Legend, Jazmine Sullivan, Chaka Khan, Donnie McClurkin, and so many more who are extraordinary vocal talents.
Yes.
So we know that your skill set and your talents are indeed extraordinary, but how has stepping onto that Broadway stage tested, challenged, or even improved your skills as a vocalist?
Well, the preparation process for this show in particular was a bit different from what I'm accustomed to. But I will say that the work that I've done prior to this prepared me for this. So for instance, working with John, if you've ever seen his Bigger Love concert, or even the Darkness and Light tour that we did, there's a lot of choreo that happens. Even though we're singing, through the full 2-hour show, we're also, boom cacking at the same time. Mm-hmm. And that prepared me for Broadway, because prior to that, I was used to just standing there and singing and doing, like a little two-step or rocking side to side. So that really helped a lot in the process. But the rehearsal schedule for Broadway was a lot more demanding. And of course, the acting and the other requirements for the role, that was new for me. I have to admit, I even had a bit of imposter syndrome going in, because I felt like, okay, this is so new and it's so different. Do I really belong here? But God had to let me know that I was right, like exactly where I belong. And I as the process went on, it just solidified it more and more. Yeah, it's been different, but it has its similarities as well. And just being able to work with the people that I'm working with, that was super helpful as well. They a lot of them have had experience in musical theater, so I gleaned from them. I watched them and took a couple of their strategies and ways that they would prepare, and implemented it into my own preparation process. So yeah, I hope I answered your question.
Yes, yes, of course. Now how was it stepping into that skill set of acting?
Oh, it's been a beautiful transition, something that I've wanted to do for a very long time. And doing it in this capacity, I think is just the perfect way for me to do it. And this role in particular, I am a mom, so playing the role of Katherine, it it was easy for me to take it on because I can tap into my motherhood instincts really easily with that. And just doing the research and making sure that I'm portraying who Mrs. Jackson is in the most effective way possible. That was definitely new for me as well. Just the studying and watching certain body movements and nuances that she had. Really just paying really close attention to the detail. I would say that was different. That was different for me.
Yes. So I definitely want to get into your role as Mrs. Katherine Jackson. But before I get there, I just wanted to ask, because Michael Jackson is such a huge icon, we're talking about the king of pop. Did you have
Yes.
any reservations about joining the cast or how well the musical would be able to portray his story?
No reservations whatsoever. Michael Jackson was one of my music influences growing up. I remember where I was the first time I heard him. I remember how I felt, and he's impacted the world generation after generation after generation. And just knowing his legacy and wanting to even be like him in that sense. Yeah, no reservations whatsoever. And I love the fact that I had the opportunity to be a part of something that told his story.
I agree. I think the fact that you all even get to be a part of something like this, that just, it brings his legacy alive again. Especially,
Yes, and
for
it
people.
deserves it.
Yes. And, for
Mhm.
people like you and me, we're a little bit older. We know what Michael Jackson meant, but this
Yeah.
musical, I think, opens the door for a lot of, younger people that,
Yeah.
came after he, left this earth, and
Mhm.
it allows them to see his legacy, which I think is so
Yes,
needed. Hmm.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the show, I give props to Miles Frost because he literally, you feel like you're watching Michael when you watch him.
Yes, I definitely heard a lot of people say that he
Oh
really
yes.
does it justice.
For
Yeah.
sure.
So that's amazing. Um,
Hmm.
so Mrs. Jackson has always been portrayed as a softer figure in her children's lives. A lot of the focus has always been on her husband Joe and his heavy hand that he raised the children with. But what have you been able to learn through your role of Mrs. Katherine Jackson that you don't think people know enough or hear enough about?
Well, I think that Catherine is a really beautiful blend of soft and strong. And I think to deal with a man like Joseph Jackson, you have to have that strength. You have to have that fortitude. And to raise 9 kids, absolutely, So I'm not sure if there's anything that people don't already know, but I know for me, just seeing that and trying to find that balance between the soft and the strong was really important to me.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So, one piece of advice that you give for upcoming vocalists is to enjoy the journey and be present in the moment,
Absolutely.
uh,
Absolutely. Mhm.
wherever that is in their career. What will you
Mhm.
be taking from this production as you move forward in your career?
I'm sorry, I
What
hear
will
what you
you
said.
be taking from this production as you move forward in your career?
What will I be taking?
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's probably a few things that I'll be taking. I am I'm a Bible reader, and there's a scripture that is very important that always resonates with me. And that is Ephesians 3:20, that says, he will do exceeding abundantly above all you can ask or think, according to the power that works in you. And in this production, I have been able to witness and stand in the power that works in me. And for me, I think that it's important for me to continue to acknowledge that I do have power within me, to acknowledge what that power is and where it derives from, and to always, here's another one, show up, to show up for myself in that power. I spent a lot of my life shrinking and being afraid and dumbing myself down, and walking away from this when it does happen, although I don't want it to happen anytime soon. I will walk in my power. I will walk in my power. I will know that it's okay to be excellent. You can be humble and be dope and know that you're dope. And it's okay, you know. I will just, yeah, I'll stick with that. Working in my power, knowing who I am, whose I am, and why I'm here and who I'm here for, and making sure that I stand in that confidently.
Mm. So, you know, you mentioned that Broadway has been your lifelong dream, and to accomplish that at 50 years old is amazing. But
yes, thank you.
Of course, looking forward to the next 50 years, you know, I want to wish a good 50 years on you.
Yes.
Yes. What goals, what aspirations, what dreams do you have now at this point in life that you want to achieve for yourself?
Well, one of them is actually in the works, to marry the love of my life. That'll be happening this year in October.
Congratulations.
It's funny because I put this on in my IG stories yesterday. I did a wish list, and it was marrying my man, moving into my new home with my man, being in the best shape ever at 50, and also to get an agent and maybe even a blue check on Instagram. Just some things that I just kind of put out there because I really do believe in the power of manifestation. But beyond that, I'm hoping that my career will expand. I've been singing for a very long time, over 30 years. And even at 50, I'm still dreaming and still looking forward to doing other things for the first time. And one of those things would be to act in television and in film, commercials even. And I don't want to get too far away from the singing. So I do want to record an album. That's something I've been wanting to do forever and have been very close, but just, you know, it hasn't happened yet. But that is one of my biggest dreams and goals, is to record an album and to just continue to live my life fearlessly.
Yes, I love that. And I think that your journey is a true testament to, you know, perfect timing. Everything happens in its perfect time.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So,
that is true.
Yes. So to wrap it up, for those that haven't seen MJ the Musical, whether they just haven't gotten around to it or they may be a little skeptical, why do you recommend that they go see it?
Because you know about the music, now get to know a little more about the man. This show, it's a beautiful depiction of one of the most legendary people in history. And I just think it's important that people get to see him as a human being as well. And I believe that the show helps with that. In addition, we are working our tails off and you're gonna love it. It's an amazing show. It's extremely entertaining. And especially with the times that we are in right now, I think it's so necessary, it's so needed to just take 2.5 hours away from the everything that's going on in the world. Mm-hmm. And I think that the MJ the Musical provides that escape. So yeah, come and see us and get away with us for a moment.
Yes, I have to go see it myself. I'm so
You
excited.
do. You
Yes.
absolutely do.
I've heard nothing but amazing things. So it's definitely on my list. But before I let you go, just want to say congratulations one more time on all your success, your journey
Thank you
thus
so
far.
much.
Of course, you know, I think it's only up from here. And I'm so happy. You know, I didn't even really want to focus that much on you being 50 because I feel like, you know, age is great, but at the end of the day, you're still a person and you're still a person
Yes.
that's able to achieve your dreams. And I love that.
Absolutely.
Yes. So just want to say congratulations to you again. And we have to talk to the production people about getting the original cast to go on this tour. We have to figure that out.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Because I mean, if that happens, what's gonna happen on Broadway? Who are we gonna have there, you know?
That's a good point. I did think about that. But thank you.
Trust me, they'll be great.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna trust your word.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me. It was an honor meeting you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course.
Blessings.